Good evening, Nigerians. Welcome to the Issues on Voice of the People TV, where words meet actions. Of course, we've been enriched with our team of esteemed analysts who are here to peruse all that we have lined up for you today as far as the Nigerian polity is concerned. It promises to be exciting because we'll be dealing with the hard facts and taking all the actions and taking the bulls by the horn. All right, today on the issues, we take a look at the presidential candidates of the Labour Party, talking about Peter Obi admitting and telling Nigerians that he is not desperate to be president. He made this address in a Sabbath Day Thanksgiving service held by the governor of Abia State, talking about Alex Otti, and he told Nigerians he only wants what is best for Nigerians. We'll now take a quick short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at these details with our team of esteemed analysts. Stay tuned. The issues. We'll be right back. Guys, calm down. Susan.
Step into a world where stories unfold, secrets unravel, and dreams come alive. Every story has a legacy. Every legacy holds the power to inspire. A unique interview series that celebrates the lives of Nigeria's elder statesmen and women through their remarkable journeys in the military, diplomacy, public service, academia, medicine, and beyond. Conversation that transcends generations, offering guidance to youth leaders, diplomats, and future change makers. We unveil the wisdom, resilience, and achievements that shapes our nation and the world. Join us every Sunday on Voice of the People Television.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Issues on Voice of the People TV. All right, today we'll be dealing with matters arising as far as the polity is concerned, and it promises to be exciting as we take a look at the presidential candidate of the 2023 election for the Labour Party, Peter Obi, who has issued very damning and very interesting comments about his aspirations to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Taking a listen from his comments in this very interesting situation, we'll take a listen from Peter Obi and, of course, peruse what he actually meant by saying he's not desperate to be president of Nigeria.
T23 Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, has commended Abia State Governor, Mr. Alex Otti, for his
All right, you're still watching the Issues on Voice of the People TV. We'll take a look at this very interesting comment coming from talking about the presidential candidate of the 2023 elections for Labour Party, Peter Obi, saying he is not desperate to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, in the studio with me, I have the usual, talking about Mr. Peter Nosike. He's a philosopher, a great author at that, and of course, a political affairs analyst, and it's great to have you in the studio with us on the issues this evening.
Yeah, thank you for
Nigeria.
Well, anybody who knows Peter Obi should know that he's not a desperate person. Soba was the sponsor. It's a domestic to President Olusegun Obasanjo. So they were powerful in the cabinet of Obasanjo then. I mean the Oba family. So Ngige was declared winner, and Ngige was sworn in as governor of Anambra State. He ruled there for almost 3 years before court declared Peter Obi the winner. So Peter Obi said, well, since Ngige has ruled there for 3 years, let him just go and complete the remaining 1 year. So that shows you that he is not a desperate person. It was Femi Falana saying, no, your tenure begins from the point you were sworn in. Therefore, you are going to do 4 years. Peter Obi said, okay. At the time, Peter Obi was holding a Fidelity Bank board of directors meeting. When Ndubisi Kanu called him, my friend, Supreme Court has declared you the winner of Anambra State governor. So he stopped the meeting and they went to Anambra and took the oath of office. So he ruled there for 4 years. So he's not a desperate person. One, he is what I may call an accidental politician. Because he has a job doing. Unlike the 99% of the people in politics who are professional politicians. Peter Obi is never a professional politician. Peter Obi has a job doing. So he is and he is very, very comfortable. Before he ran for the governor of Anambra State in 2003, his family was among the richest in Anambra State. So he has already made money before coming into politics. So he's not among the who we normally call the billionaires without enterprise. So Peter Obi has what he's doing before he came into politics. And as a philosopher by training, is not desperate. Because philosophers are taught what is known as beyond materialism. Understand? So Peter Obi, he said that and he meant it. He had never shown desperation. He's just in politics to rescue this country that is headed on a wrong direction. And I feel if Nigeria said that they don't need their help, Peter Obi can easily resign from politics and begin to live comfortably until he dies.
But taking a look at the competition for Peter Obi, he has to deal with career politicians and professional politicians like you've just said here now. And he is going to deal with someone who believes it's his turn, it's his right to be president, and he is currently the incumbent. With the mentality of the fact that he is not desperate, do you think he has the wherewithal, since he's not looking desperate, to push away someone who is more desperate and who believes it's his turn being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
We are talking two different things.
Yes.
He said that he is not desperate to be president of Nigeria.
Yes.
So all he needs to do is to put in his best. If Nigeria say no, we don't want you, Nigeria lose, not Peter Obi. If you come out as a presidential candidate in 2027 and Nigeria say no, we don't want you, it is Nigeria that's lost, not Peter Obi. Peter Obi is already made. Peter Obi is already comfortable. He has a business that he can go into, unlike the 99 other politicians. Understand?
If Peter Obi is having this kind of mentality, what happens to a lot of obedience who have so much faith and hope in him joining a coalition, for instance, of a political party where a lot of professional politicians and career politicians who see politics and governance as their final bus stop. Do you think that Peter Obi can wrestle the demand and fight for the cause of those obedient who has faith in him with such a mentality?
So, do the obedience want him to be desperate? If you are in politics to serve, it must not be a do or die. And to Peter Obi, politics is not a do or die. He is out there to serve. Already he has where to fall back to. He has businesses that he can fall back to. So you don't expect him to be as desperate as maybe Ayo Fayose or Nyesom Wike, understand, who has no business address. Understand me? Who has no business address. If you want to break somebody's head because you want to be president, then pick up the ticket of a political party and become a presidential candidate. So Peter Obi is not that kind of a person. Peter Obi is in politics to serve the people. There are two kinds of people in politics. Those who need a job and those who come to serve. 99% of Nigerian politicians are those who need jobs. Understand me? But Peter Obi already have a job. So he is in politics for service. It is those who need jobs that embezzle, that commit all sorts of atrocities. But those who come to serve, understand?
Yes.
Their interest is in the welfare of the people. And they can never be desperate. So when Peter Obi said that he's not desperate, I strongly believe that he said that from the bottom of his heart.
We understand our virtual guest is with us, talking about Engineer Fimba Adegu. He is a fellow, the Nigerian Safety Engineers, a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Good evening. It's great to have you on the issues.
Very much. I'm pleased to be here on issues.
All right. Today we're looking at Peter Obi, the presidential candidate for Labour Party in the 2023 elections, and it's told Nigerians that he's not desperate to be president. Do you think this is a way of a political strategy coming from Peter Obi, or do you think he's actually sincere, saying that he wants the betterment of Nigerians? That's the most important for him. He's not desperate to be president of Nigeria.
Yes, thank you very much. Frankly, when you come to desperation, certainly standards like Peter Obi, which of course is not just him. There are many more people who have similar standards and qualities, just that some of them have not been brought or given opportunity to come to the fore. It is quite unique that Peter Obi has gone through all the battles and hurdles, and he has made himself available, and people are seeing through him, not just before him, seeing through him that there's sincerity of purpose, and that makes it very clear that service is the top priority, that it's not going to be business as usual like our politicians over the years have had it. Just like the gentleman that just finished, I saw through his lines of statement that genuineness of purpose which he presented has come that Peter Obi has a business. That, of course, cuts across everyone who is learned. You understand that somebody who has a business address, of course, is somebody who you can really relate to, somebody who you can do, you can have a deal with, and then be sure that, yes, there's integrity and there's credibility, which the person will not want to toil with. So such a person is people like Peter Obi, and there are many more like him, whom, of course, I'm looking forward to opportunities to bring themselves to the fore. So Peter Obi is somebody whom I think genuinely is out to serve.
Why some from the opposition, engineer, still with you, might not agree with that position? Because how do you interpret Obi's statement in light of the post-election legal battles and his sustained public engagement? Is it consistent with someone who claims not to be desperate? We've seen him moving up and down, and of course making a lot of comments about the government and so on and so forth. Does that imply somebody who is not desperate to be president?
Yes, you see, over the years, we have always had politicians who are desperate in terms of not genuinely to serve. But now we have people who have genuine interest. Of course, they may appear desperate, but desperate to service, not desperate to come and exploit the people, not desperate to come and impoverish the people, not desperate to come and deny the people their fundamental access to basic amenities and access to quality lifestyle and healthy living. It is obvious that our politicians over the years, they keep coming in and over and over. We know one of such persons. Permit me to liken it to Atiku. Over the years, he kept coming in and coming in, and I think it is, in my own opinion, high time that he bows out and supports people like P2B who have given a taste of service and also look forward to serve. Unlike the usual politicians which we have that have nothing much to really offer but to come and exploit and keep exploiting. So I think if the oppositions think that the P2B is as usual, business as usual like them, they are all getting it wrong. Nigerians, of course, saw it at the last elections that this is the kind of person who keeps standing for certain things that are unusual. That is not business as usual, like our politicians say. He keeps emphasizing on those things, that it must be production, production, production. And we must not continue to do consumption and consumption. How many politicians will emphasize on that? He also comes out to keep on condemning poverty and poverty and poverty. How many politicians will stand firm and say you're condemning poverty when you have access to funds and then you keep traveling up and down and then spending public funds? You will find a very few or none of them with the current type of politicians, except for people like P2B. So I think with all these points, I think P2B genuinely comes to serve, unlike what the usual politicians are putting forward.
Let me go to Mr. Anosike. Given that he came third in the 2023 elections, do you think this non-desperation narrative is a way of managing political disappointment or an attempt to remain relevant?
He did not come third. He was allocated the third position.
Okay, according to you?
He was allocated at the third position. So I want to add more to what you said.
Okay, to what
you said that P2B, since after the election, has been moving from one point to the other.
Okay.
How would you, one thing that people keep on accusing Atiku Abubakar of is that after every 4 years, after the election, he would disappear, go to Dubai, understand? Then when the election is nearing, he will come back.
Very interesting.
So, do you want to put Obi in that shoe? So imagine what Obi did in 2023, and after that, he just disappeared.
All right, Mr. Anosike, we understand we have a caller who wants to join in the conversation. Good evening, you're welcome to the issues.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? This is Zach calling from Houston, Texas.
All right, Zach from Texas. Go ahead.
Yes, according to your caption, a quote, Peter Obi said, "I'm not desperate to be president. I just want Nigeria to work." You know, these are the kind of things that Peter Obi said that, some part of the obedient movement don't really agree about how soft the man is. How can you say you're not desperate to be president if you are not desperate to be president? So what's the point of moving up and down? What's the point of campaigning? What's the point of all this coalition, all this merger and everything going on? What do you mean by that? Those are the things that we don't really understand. When you come out and say this kind of thing, I'm not desperate to be a president. What does that mean?
All right.
Yeah, man, those kind of words are not words that your supporter want to hear.
Okay.
The problem I have with him is he's just too soft to be a Nigerian president. The same thing Kenneth Okonkwo said, that he doesn't believe in Obi, that Obi can actually defend his votes. These are facts. You heard Tinubu at the event that APC people had last week. You see how Tinubu was delivering. You see how arrogant, how strong he is in the terms of the way he deliver his speech. That's how Nigerian politicians, that's how they move. If you don't want heat, then leave the kitchen. You can't come out and be saying all this kind of thing that you are not desperate to be Nigeria president. What do you mean by that? You are not desperate, then live there. These are the issue I have with him.
All right, Zach is just telling us about the issues he has with. But I think we are getting wrong.
Excuse me.
Desperation could be negative. What about passion? If he says he has
Is desperation
passion,
a good word? Is
yes,
desperation a good word?
desperation should not be a
Peter Obi
positive
is
word.
not desperate. I support him on that.
Okay.
Understand me? You will be desperate if you have something to gain.
Personally.
Understand me?
Passion
So this
could
guy
be
is saying,
something-
I'm not desperate. It's not a do or die issue. I support him. Any right-thinking person should support that statement.
Okay.
Understand me? So you want a Peter Obi that come and say this 2027 will be a do or die. I must be president. Understand? Eh? This is not a family meeting, and you are the head of the family. You say it's my right. No, understand? So he is naturally he's not a desperate person.
Definitely. Okay.
He's not a desperate person, and you cannot begin because when you begin to I'm desperate. You were not. Nobody was born to be president, and the P2B and Tinubu have different background, have different thinking, are in different stages of evolution. Understand me? So there's no way P2B should be talking like Tinubu. If today P2B begin to talk like Tinubu, I will run away from him. So all this issue, even if you are contesting for any office and you begin to show desperation, people will begin to read meaning. Maybe there's something that you want from the office. If you are contesting that to serve, there's no need for desperation. If your purpose is to serve, there's no need for desperation. But desperation, is it a good word? So whoever, I said it before, whoever is desperate, there are more than 70 political parties in Nigeria. Whoever is desperate to be president should go and run under a political party. It must not be a do or die.
All right, let me go to back to engineer. Peter Obi says he wants Nigeria to work. What concrete policy interventions or civic actions has he pushed since 2023 that prove this isn't just about talk? Yes, we've heard the word consumption to production and so on and so forth. What body language has shown that if Peter Obi, for instance, becomes president today, that he is going to perform in terms of making sure we move into production instead of consumption?
Thank you very much. You see, sincerely, there are clear pointers, very clear pointers in this in regards to your question. As a matter of fact, our GDP, P2B has emphasized a good number of times. It has declined over time, and the current administration has continually played politics with what we have. At the same time, our the cost of goods in our country, in terms of what we are producing, is very minimal. A good number of our goods are imported, and it has costed our naira to, P2B have supported in many quarters that policies on our production should be increased. Because when you get imported goods, you are affecting our currency, you are affecting the industries, which is indigenous industries. You are bringing in international, you're exporting a good number of our quality professionals. At the same time, you're putting our raw materials for us not to maximize the best of our raw materials. You see, he has emphasized that a number of policies should be put forward such that our borders should be regulated such that we can look inwards and see to the raw materials which we have and harness them. In areas of agriculture, he has a number of times highlighted that our farms should be expanded, especially in the areas of in the north where we have a land mass. That the farms should be expanded in such areas where they can produce a good number of food. And in terms of rice and yam and tomatoes and all those eat edibles that people use day to day. And when we produce a good quantity of them, we can we farm them and then we can export them. He has also mentioned in terms of our professionals, our doctors, our engineers, our all those nurses and what have you. He has mentioned a number of times that we should look inward and see that the remuneration and incentives for these professionals are look thoroughly reviewed, such that they can be encouraged to see that indigenous services to our country is a top priority. He has also equally looked at policies that will reduce in terms of our politicians having payment, their dues, will I call it allowances, that policy should be reviewed such that the pay for all our political office holders should certainly be looked into and be reviewed. He has also looked into the independence of the judiciary. That policy should be made sure that our judiciary should be independent. He has also pointed out a number of issues in terms of the INEC being able to deliver quality elections without looking forward to going to court kind of phrases. You see, some of these are, and many more, are those things which P2B has pointed out, and he may not go into all the details, because sometimes when you go into details, your oppositions might, of course, which they are doing, take advantage of it and buy in, and then see that they put in such policies that will only favor them, perhaps not long term, but for a medium term purposes that will serve their immediate needs. So those are the things that I think policies that were formulated in this direction that P2B has stood for over the time, and it continues to stand for.
All right. Mr. Enosuke, go ahead.
I want to add to that.
Okay.
If you are running for an election, you run on the problems of the country. You don't offer solution. I'm telling you. Offering solution is helping your
Opposition.
your enemy. So all these things that are the man in Oka, the engineer enumerated.
Okay.
If P2B has given all those things for me, if I'm him, I wouldn't have. Because initiating policies is helping the incumbent. And when he begins to implement that, what are you going to do? Understand me? He can easily say what P2B said that he would do when he win is what we are already doing. Understand me? Which is a good point. So if you are running for the election, you run on the problems of the country. You don't offer solution. You don't. It is the responsibility of the man in power to provide solution. It is your own responsibility to be pushing the problem that the country is going to on his head. It is the responsibility of the person in the opposition to be pinning all the problems in the country on his head, not for the person in the opposition to be offering solution. The person that was elected to solve all the problems of the country.
Does that not show that maybe he's not desperate, he's only passionate about the well-being of Nigerians?
So if you are in the opposition, don't offer any help.
So what do you say about the advisors of P2B? Does P2B look like he has a team that advises him, that he listens to, or he's running a one-man show?
Well, for me, P2B should be the captain of his team. There should be people that he listens to. Understand? There should be people that he listens to, because no man
An island.
No man can succeed alone. So for P2B to do what he did in 2023, he did not do it alone. So I know that he must have a very good team with good head. But Jerry, if you are running for an election, if you are in the opposition, don't offer solutions. Offering solutions is helping the incumbent. Your own is to be bringing out all the problems that the country is going through, making voters angry. Understand me? And the more angry the voters are, the better for you as a member of the opposition.
It looks like P2B is not applying that strategy, and if Mr. Peter Noske was to be in his talking about have his ears, I believe Mr. Peter Obi will be listening to you now. But let's take a listen because just recently over the weekend, Peter Obi was at would I call it the National Political Consultative Group crucial meeting in Abuja, talking about the northern politicians and those who will set the agenda of where the North will vote. He was at a meeting with them. He said something very interesting. He said, we have voted for religion and tribe in the time past. It's time to vote for competence. We'll take a listen for Peter Obi and maybe peruse what he meant by that comment once again.
The insecurity in Nigeria, especially in the north, rests on poverty. It rests on all that has been mentioned and everything. I've been in the financial industry for years, and I can tell everybody this, you can go and verify this in this country. I was in the financial industry. When you look for cash, you go to Kano. When you look for cash, you go to Kano was #1 place for cash. Because then we had all the factories in Mumbai, in Sharadamba, in Sharanti. Go to Kano today, those industries are not there. Go to Kaduna, there's no industry. There's no industry again in Kaduna. We used to put Kaduna Trade Fair 2 years for it to get the space. Today nobody goes there. We used to go to Maiduguri for cash. Bangladesh produces about 50 to 60 million tons of rice. Nigeria cannot produce 10% of that. The entire Nigeria is 6 times the size of Bangladesh. They are 158, they are 900. You can go on and on. Small states like Vietnam that came out of war can feed itself and responsible. 5 states of the north, Vietnam is 300,000. 5 states of the north, Niger, Borno, Taraba, Kaduna, and Bauchi is about 300,000 students. That's what Vietnam is. And today Vietnam does 10 times our export. But reality, our problem can be solved from the north. When we focus and invest in the north, what is not required investment, support, policies that can drive it, and it is doable, and this is something you can see changing as we start. Thank you.
All right, we've heard from the horse's mouth talking about Peter Obi himself. And of course, he said that we voted for religion, we voted for tribe, and it's now time to vote for competence. Engineer, what is the competence he's talking about? What does he mean by voting for competence? And what does he mean by voting for religion before I'm voting for tribe?
You see, sincerely, in terms of certain things that are needs or basic amenities or that communities and societies and countries require, it doesn't have coloration. It doesn't have a tribe. It doesn't have a religion. It doesn't have a color. Things such as hunger, that's what he's emphasizing and is pointing to. Hunger doesn't have coloration. It doesn't have tribe. It doesn't have religion. It doesn't have any of such. Things such as crime, which is predominant in the north. It doesn't have coloration. It doesn't have crime. Doesn't have whether it is Hausa or Yoruba or Igbo. Kidnapping doesn't have whether it's Hausa, Yoruba, or Igbo. That is where he's pointing at. These are the areas where he is emphasizing that when he has an opportunity, perhaps he is going to thoroughly address such issues, and you're going to have zero tolerance in areas of crime, zero tolerance in areas of hunger, because he's going to make sure that there's abundance of food. And he pointed out that areas like Bangladesh, which are turning over tons and tons of rice production, and then look at us, Nigeria, compared to Bangladesh. were nothing to write home about compared to them in rice production. Look at other areas where he mentioned that they have services such that are exceptional. You see, and on and on. He was able to, this platform provides for him an opportunity to make a good number of persons who are within the audience to also see through the areas where he's emphasizing that his services, when his leadership is going to put services top priority. Areas where there is, in the north, you have a problem of Boko Haram, insecurity in the north, and also which cuts across to many other areas in the north central and even beyond. So Peter Obi is also pointing that all these things does not have a Hausa, Yoruba, or Igbo written on them. That it's all crime and it's going to, so everybody is suffering them. And hunger is everywhere, everybody is suffering it. Inflation is everywhere, and all of us are suffering it. If you have to buy bread does not know whether you're Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa. If you have to buy fuel, it does not know whether you're Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa. If you have to do other businesses across, insecurity, kidnapping, does not know all those things. So Peter Obi is pointing out that those are the areas where he's going to bring forward the best of his ability and see that they are addressed for Nigerians.
All right, Mr. Agosike, he has made mention that we voted tribe and we voted religion. Now it's time to vote competence. What does he mean? Who is the competent man he is talking about?
Well, going by what he did as a governor of Anambra State, he is competent. I have said it on this program that angels cannot be on the ballot box. Understand me? Angels don't run for election because election is like swimming in a murky water, which will leave stains and stains on your body. So it is not what good guys do. It's only rugged people that contest election because it has a lot of things in it. So, but I consider Peter Obi as being the best among the worst as Nigeria stands today. I consider Peter Obi as being the best among the worst because one of the only way to develop an economy is to cut costs. And this is what Peter Obi did as a governor of Anambra State. That's that. Peter Obi is frugal. Peter Obi is prudent when it comes to money. Assuming that Peter Obi, that was declared president in 2023, that SUV of 160 million that they bought for the House of Reps, they will not have bought it. Because Peter Obi would not have allowed it. Argentina was in recession when their current president came into office. He brought Argentina out of office within 6 months. Because of what? He came and cut down the size of his cabinet by 50%. Cut down the salaries of his cabinet, sold their presidential jets. Within 6 months, Argentina is out of recession. Look at what Mahama of Ghana did. The other president messed up the economy. When he came in, he knew that the only way to go is to cut down the cost of governance. He dissolved 7 ministries as a way of reducing costs. Our constitution says 36 ministers. Tinubu have 47. You see, so Peter Obi is who Nigeria need as we speak. Because he has, when Peter Obi was a governor of Anambra State, I was in the Sun newspaper then. Peter Obi will send advert and ask for his commission. A governor of a state. We were not happy that a governor is asking for his commission. But that is frugality. That's the way to go. That's the way to run a modern government, small size government. Understand me?
Okay.
Small size government.
Okay.
So when he's talking about competence, I said, the guy in Anambra said, no religion buys fuel cheaper than the other religion.
All right.
No ethnic groups buys things in the market cheaper than the other one. So the only way to go is competence.
All right, we are pressed for time. We will just have to leave it here. I want to say big thanks to Engineer Fimba Ajego for being a part of the issues. Though on your debut, I must say you've done excellently well. All right, have a good night rest, Engineer Fimba.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure having your insights on the program.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, and that's where we'll leave it tonight. Nigeria, from the shaking foundations, of course, the revelations are coming from the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, talking about Peter. Remember, democracy isn't a spectator sport. The future isn't decided by the loud, but by the informed. I am Jerry Apelion, and this has been the issues on Voice of the People TV, where facts matter and truth has no off-season. Stay sharp, stay engaged, and above all, stay free. Good night, and God bless Nigeria.